Shane, in your book, What You Don't Learn in Film School, you say you've been rich and you've been poor. You like rich better. What did each experience teach you? What happened? How did you get from point A to point B and back?
You know, I've been rich, I've been poor. And of course you like rich better. You want to be able to take your loved ones out to dinner. You want to be able to take a vacation. You want to be able to pay a mortgage bill or a phone bill when it comes in without breaking a sweat and figuring out where that's going to come from. You know, when you start out, you know, I was very stubborn. I wanted to prove my independence. Maybe it came from being unlucky enough to win 2 Emmys before my 19th birthday. But, you know, for my 18th birthday, I graduated high school on my 18th birthday, June 15th, 1989. I was in my first condo living on my own within a couple months after that. I moved right out, and my parents didn't want me to leave. They weren't saying, hey, get your life together, you need to get a house or move out. I just was like, wanted my independence. And, you know, it was amazing. When you're not educated like me in the fundamentals of life sense, I was an old soul when it came to dealing with the things that I had seen and experienced and witnessed as a young kid. But nobody, you know, really taught me how to balance a checkbook. Nobody taught me about where to put money or how to manage money. So I was that kid that would make $5,000 and spend 10, you know, the next day, just assuming, and then forgetting there were taxes and bills, and you know. So I learned very quickly how fast money goes. I learned very quickly how you have to promote yourself to work. We're salespeople in this industry. We're selling widgets, which are ourselves. We're selling a product, whether it's a script or us as an actor or a filmmaker. And I learned what it's like to file bankruptcy when I was in my 20s. I learned what it was like to be evicted when I was in my 20s. I learned what it was like to have a car repossessed when I was in my 20s, and then another car repossessed when I was in my 20s, and another car repossessed after that in my 20s. So, you know, finally a light goes on and say, okay, this isn't working. And then you learn how to manage, and then, you know, you have success. You work hard. You know, I was fortunate. I was a part of some successful projects, and I liked rich better because I wasn't getting my cars repossessed, and I was able to go to nice dinners when I felt like it, and I was able to, you know, pay rent or mortgage and not sweat.
Plus, those are some big guys repossessing those cars.
There's some big guys, and I learned at a young age not to fight them either. I learned the hard way when they came to collect. No, they don't mess around, those guys, because they don't get paid unless they bring a car back, and you know, I didn't know that. You know. And those crowbars they have, they don't mind swinging at them. I mean, they'll hit you with them. But anyway, so when it came around again, I learned to be a little bit more responsible, not to live outside my means. And I'm not rich or poor now. I make a living being a filmmaker. I'm comfortable. I don't ever take anything for granted. I don't regret any decisions I've made or what I've experienced. Sure, we'd all like to be able to just thumb our nose and only do what we want when we want, but that's not what life's about. I've been in those chapters where, you know, you can go 4 or 5 years and not worry about work, and it's easy to become complacent. It's easy to become put things in cruise control and lose the edge, lose the venom, as I say. And I find when I think of myself in a situation of needing to provide for my family, when I think about needing to keep a roof over my head and wanting to be able to have a nice dinner once a month or to take a little road trip with my wife, it reminds me I got to keep my nose to the grindstone. And I never get complacent. I'm always grinding.
Can we hear a story about a great time where you had the $5,000 payout and spent 10? And then maybe times when things were really bad. And
I'll give you a better one. I remember the $25,000 days. Those were the fun ones. You know, when you get a phone call out of the blue, it's like, hey, we need you to do a commercial. It only pays $25,000, but we'll only need you for 5 hours. Can you come in? And you go, sure, I'll be there. And, you know, and I had a loan out company, so they didn't take out taxes. So, you know, you're getting a check for $25,000. And that's for like 4 hours of work. It's not a bad day, you know. Or I remember selling a script. My first screenplay I ever sold, I got $125,000 for it. I wrote it in 2 weeks. That doesn't happen often. But you forget about agents, managers, lawyers, business managers, taxes. That $125,000 turned into about $51,000 really quick. I had already bought 2 new cars, 4 jet skis, 2 motorcycles. and took a bunch of friends to Vegas. So, you know, stupid is easy come, easy go, right? So, you know, that happens. As far as being broke, I remember renting a house and knowing deep down inside I couldn't maintain it, but boy, it sure looked good at the moment and made me feel like the king of the mountain because it was on top of a mountain in the valley. And I remember after 3 months getting a call from the landlord. He's like, I'm sure you know, but you know your check bounced. And I was like, okay. And I'm looking at my bank statement, I got $320 to my name. I just bounced a $2,600 check. Yeah, you know, and then you're robbing Peter to pay Paul to make rent. And next thing you know, you're living with a buddy in his 2-bedroom apartment, paying him $300 until you could figure it out again. And then, you know, because of this crazy business, I got a phone call and went off and did a $5 million movie 6 weeks later, and I was back at it again, you know, making good money, all in the unions, and it's just crazy business. So what I've learned to do is to just be and treat every job as your last, and every dime that you get that you may never get another. And I'm not stingy. You just become more prudent as you get older. You know, I'm going to be 50 next year. You know, I don't want to have to keep hustling when I'm 70. I'd like to do only what I want to do when I'm 70. And I've been lucky. I get to do what I want to do, but there's still the desire to get out and work, so I don't have to worry.
Those friends that you took to Vegas, do you still talk to them?
Incidentally, no. No. Nah.
So when the money went away, those friends went away.
It's like you hear about all the sports athletes and rock stars and the actors that when it's good, and when it's bad, it's bad. It's the same for us behind the scene guys. You know, when you're 19, 20, 21 years old and you're burning through $250,000, $300,000 a year, living on your own without any responsibilities, you're the life of the party. And then when you got to start telling your friends, you know, that's why I bought so many jet skis, because I wanted my friends to come out and jet ski with me. They couldn't afford their own, so I'll buy 3 or 4. Let's go out together. And then, you know, they call you and say, hey, let's go jet skiing this weekend. And you're like, yeah, I sold them. Well, those group of friends fall away. And then, you know, hey, I need to borrow your truck this week. I got to do something. Well, I don't have the truck anymore. I've only got my, you know, my 2-seater right now, or my 4-seater car. It's like, oh, and then those people go away. You know, it's just like fair weather friends, sure. I have some great friends I've known all my life, but the people that went to Vegas back then, nah, I don't see them anymore.